Okay, so we're continuing the reporting on the sweepstakes for Vice President Kamala Harris. Has a slew of people that she is vetting currently for the role of her vice presidency. Everyone is waiting. This is going to be probably the most consequential decision up until the rest of the election, especially because of J.D. Vance. I think it makes it even better because you can actually beat Trump in that category of choosing a vice president that's going to actually help your ticket. Because not only does J.D. Vance not help, he actually makes it worse. So if you can pick a good vice president, you can actually win the vice presidency category, which is really, really good. You don't have to just tie, you can even win. So what we know is kind of the reports are the people left on the short list are kind of Andy Beshear, Shapiro, Kelly, and Walz. There's kind of like the general four that's left. The reporting is a little bit different on who's left. Everyone's kind of figuring out where it goes. There was kind of that one video that I made where I talked about how it's reported that Beshear, supposedly has increased his security detail, but there's no official source on that. There was also an MSNBC report that he is officially being vetted by the campaign. Another interesting thing was we saw Sean Fain yesterday. If you watched the video yesterday, Sean Fain actually said that Beshear was his number one person, and I think that's because he joined their picket line, the UAW's picket line. He actually had him even over Walz, which I was surprised by. So I think Walz became kind of the progressive guy, but Beshear originally, before Walz started going on his media tour, what I saw on Twitter from progressives was Beshear was actually the number one pick. So Walz kind of took over, but Beshear kind of is there, and he's actually the only one from an actual red state. So Beshear is from Kentucky, which is a Republican state. He's actually a Democrat. Walz is from a lean blue/blue state. Shapiro is from a swing state, Kelly from a swing state. He's the only one who's from a firm red state. Kentucky is a firm red state. And I think he's won 3 elections so far. But so what he's been doing is he's really been edging us. So he gets us really close to finishing and then he just pulls out, he just stops. So he's been sending out hints just nonstop. So he was actually at an Oklahoma Democratic Party fundraiser yesterday. And check out what he actually said.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor Andy Beshear.
Thursday's event was the first big national Democratic fundraiser of the current election cycle in Oklahoma. We're under 100 days away from November 5th. That's when Americans will decide who will be the next president and vice president. The Dem VP nominee might be this man who spoke about his own experience winning as a Democrat in red Kentucky and hinted at getting a promotion.
Because yes, while I run as a proud Democrat, the moment I win, I take that hat off and I serve every single citizen of Kentucky, and maybe, just maybe, every citizen of the United States of America.
Fox News reported that other potential picks include Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Damn, so I mean, he's just straight up saying it, basically. He's hinting at it. He's like, maybe for every single citizen in the United States of America. So maybe, just maybe, I'll be the vice president representing the entirety of America. And so he kind of tries to he seems like he's trying to do like this Obama thing. This like kind of, I don't know if you guys seen that 2004 Obama speech that he gave at the DNC where he said there isn't like a red America and a blue in America. There's just an America. And so he seems like he's trying to do that, which I think is a smart move, trying to do like this uniting thing, I guess. But you can see here that he's been hinting nonstop. And so I don't know if you guys have seen his Twitter feed. I reported on the video, but he sent out this tweet a couple days ago. It's like this is super political, obviously. It's a scripture, Galatians 6:2. Reminds us, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. And it's him looking like kind of sincere with the woman who looks to be in some kind of distress or something of that nature. And there's just a lot of people around and everything. And then his Twitter feed is just, it's just crazy. So he sent out this tweet. He says, yesterday morning, my father was in a single car accident. He'll make a full recovery. Our family appreciates all the kind words and prayers we received. God is good even when things are tough. Dad is going to be okay. He's already calling me to offer me even more advice, AB. Again, a lot of people are going to say this is not political, but I think this is something potentially political and that he's trying to sound kind of relatable. Hey, my dad got in a car accident. Your dad's probably gotten into a car accident, all this kind of stuff. So I think that there's definitely some smoke there. Again, a lot of people are going to disagree, but let's check out the rest of his feed. He's posting looks like I don't know if that's a video of his daughter or somebody, but shooting basketball. So So this was also a couple days ago. So his wife, Brittany Beshear, again, I don't know if Brittany is pronounced differently. My apologies. It looks like Brittany. I don't know if it's pronounced differently or not. My apologies. But she sent out a tweet saying, "Every day I see Andy work so hard to make the right decisions and to lead with empathy, strength, and courage." ESC, I'll call it. "It's never easy, but he always remains committed to doing what's right." And then it's a picture of them smiling. I think that Andy Beshear is very non-photogenic. I feel like here he looks like a serial killer. Like, I would not feel safe around him. I'd be like, oh no, he's gonna kill me and like sell my organs. But he looked much better in the video, which was relieving. And then the way he spoke, I kind of liked the way that he spoke as well. When I saw Josh Shapiro speak, it actually turned me off of Josh Shapiro because I was really convinced like he was very electorally salient and efficacious. But when I watched him, I was kind of like, not only I'm not really a fan of the argumentations that you're making, the arguments you're making, but I'm actually not a fan of even the way that you're speaking. He sounds kind of weird. I don't really like his voice and the way he sounds. I actually thought Beshear, the way he spoke was good. I thought it was good. It's kind of a middle ground. I think Walz is kind of the best at the speaking. I think that Beshear is some midpoint, like like x1 plus x2 over 2, right? He's kind of like a midpoint between Walz and Shapiro, where Shapiro's like the least charismatic, and then Walz is the most, and then Beshear's somewhere in the middle. And he says, "Everything I do is only possible because I have my best friend by my side supporting me. Love you, Brittany," or Brittany. I don't know how you pronounce that. And then a bunch of people are obviously saying, "We need Andy as VP. I hope it's Andy or Josh Shapiro. That's an interesting choice. Wouldn't Josh be the better pick?" Someone says. So a bunch of people's talking about VP under this tweet. Everyone's talking about vice president, right? This is very vice presidential. It's obviously very, very political, right? So this is kind of fueling the speculation. And then again, on top of this, there's that, unconfirmed sort of supposed report that, hey, he's got an increased security detail. And then also the other stuff. This one also coming out yesterday. So this is from, I guess, a Kentucky news outlet, local news outlet. And so they say Governor Beshear cancels planned stop in Western Kentucky. So he's canceled a stop. So everyone's kind of like, that's interesting. There's also reporting that Shapiro has also canceled his events as well. So it would be interesting to see, maybe the scenario is, maybe they chose Beshear and then they're going to announce Beshear in Pennsylvania. They're going to start the trip in Pennsylvania, and they'll have Shapiro there to help out. Obviously, he's the governor there, so he's going to help out the party. And then they'll be introing Governor Beshear to actually be the vice president. That's a potential outcome that I could see maybe potentially happening. Again, I would really find it surprising if they start out in Pennsylvania and choose Shapiro. The only way this would make sense in terms of him canceling and going is if Beshear is the vice president, because otherwise he's not going to travel to Pennsylvania. It's kind of random. The other thing is, I don't know if it's required that you start your trip in Pennsylvania, so I don't know how that kind of thing impacts it, because a lot of people are skeptical of whether or not you should look at Pennsylvania starting. So the thing is if Pennsylvania, you don't have to start in Pennsylvania. I don't know what requirement there is that you start your trip in Pennsylvania, and so that's why I'm kind of making this idea. Why I'm thinking like, maybe there's something kind of going on here, right, with Pennsylvania. So I still think it's the favorite, and I should have pulled up the betting odds, but the betting odds have it at like 69 to 70% chance of Shapiro being chosen. I think he's definitely been the default candidate the whole time. Anybody else has been kind of dark horse candidates, because he's polling really, really well in Pennsylvania against Trump. The Fox News poll is in +10. The Triple P poll had him at 4, and Harris, I think, was like tied in the Fox News poll or something. It was, I forgot the Fox News numbers. I think it was tied. So it's like a 10-point swing, and then the other one was, I think, a 6-point swing, because I think Harris was down 2 in the Triple P poll, I believe. So he's polling really well, and then the probability that you win Pennsylvania but lose the election is close to 0. It's almost impossible, especially because we have a lot of good potential hedges against losing Michigan or Wisconsin, because both those 10 and 15, right? Whiskey is 10 electoral votes, and Michigan is 15, right? You can hedge either of those with just Georgia alone. You can use a AZ and V combo. And then obviously if you were to go, I call it Gaza, like Arizona and Georgia, like GA, and then AZ backwards, Gaza. Either one of those could subsidize it, right? So it'll be pretty interesting to see. There's a lot of speculation. I know I'm milking this pretty hard, but he said it here. He literally said it. You saw him say it come out of his mouth. You can't even say this is clickbait. You can't say, oh, this is speculation. He literally said it out loud. I'm literally saying exactly what he said. He's revealed he may be the VP. He's the one saying it here. Why would he You know, and then why would he kind of tease this out? Why would he kind of edge us like this? I don't know what the reason would be, other than he's actually running. I don't know if he just kind of wants to boost his national profile. And then in terms of his sort of electoral ability, obviously he comes from a red state, so he has that high potential for like a sort of crossover. I kind of convinced myself that Walz actually would have a good crossover because of his military background, the way he's coming at it, etc. And I think Beshear will probably have some good amount of that too. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is it going to be Beshear? Is it going to be Shapiro? Who's it going to be? But you saw him say it, so you can't come at me saying it's clickbait. He literally said it himself.